Have you ever wondered why the first $100,000 can feel almost impossible? But once you reach it, building the next $100,000 can feel completely different. Imagine two people. Both are earning good money. Both are trying to build wealth. Both are investing every month. But one has $10,000 invested. The other has $100,000. At first, you might think the second person is simply 10 times richer. But something much more important has happened. Their money has started behaving differently. And that's the part nobody really talks about. Because $100,000 isn't just a number in your bank or investment account. It can be a psychological milestone, a mathematical milestone, and, if you handle it correctly, a point where wealth starts becoming easier to build. But there's also a trap. Some people reach $100,000 and immediately start spending like they've made it. And that can destroy years of progress. So what actually changes when you reach $100,000? Let's break it down. The first $100,000 is different. For most people, getting to $100,000 is incredibly difficult. Think about it. If you save $500 every month, that's $6,000 a year. Ignoring investment growth, it would take more than 16 years to save $100,000. Even if you save $1,000 every month, you're still looking at more than 8 years. That's a long time. And during those years, you have rent, bills, food, unexpected expenses, car repairs, family emergencies, vacations, subscriptions, and of course, the occasional purchase you somehow convince yourself is an investment. So the first $100,000 usually comes from something that isn't very exciting. Discipline. You earn money. You spend less than you earn. You invest the difference. Then you repeat, again, and again, and again, for years. And this is where most people get frustrated. Because in the beginning, your investment account doesn't seem to do much. You put in $10,000. Maybe it becomes $10,700. You put in another $10,000. Maybe now you're around $21,500. It feels like you are doing all the work. The market isn't doing much. Your money isn't doing much. You're basically pushing a giant snowball up a hill. But something interesting happens as that snowball gets bigger. Eventually, the snowball starts helping you. Let's say you finally reach $100,000. You open your investment account. And for the first time, the number feels serious. Before this point, you might think, I need to make more money. I need a better job. I need another side hustle. I need to save more. But after reaching $100,000, your thinking can start changing. You realize something important. I already have money working for me. That changes your relationship with money. Instead of seeing every dollar as something you need to spend or save, you start seeing money as an employee. Imagine you have 100,000 tiny workers. Each dollar is one worker. And instead of asking them to sit around doing nothing, you send them to work through investments. Now, you don't have to personally work every hour to create wealth. Your money can participate. And that psychological shift is powerful. Because wealth isn't only about how much money you make. It's also about how much money you have working for you. But here's where the math gets interesting. Let's use a simple example. Imagine you have $100,000 invested. Suppose, purely as an illustration, your portfolio earns an average of 7% in a particular year. 0.7% of $100,000 is $7,000. That's $7,000 of growth without you needing to work an extra 1,000 hours. Now imagine your portfolio reaches $200,000. 7% of $200,000 is $14,000. At $500,000? That's $35,000. At $1 million? That's $70. 0.000. Same percentage, different amount of money. This is the power of having a larger base. Your return percentage hasn't magically become better. Your money simply has more money to multiply. And this is one reason the first $100,000 can be so important. You're building the foundation that future growth can build upon, but there's something else happening here. And it's probably even more important. Your savings rate starts losing the spotlight. Before $100,000, saving aggressively can make a huge difference. Suppose you're investing $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. When you have $10,000 invested, adding $12,000 in a year is enormous. You're more than doubling your starting amount before considering investment returns. But imagine you have $100,000 invested. Your $12,000 annual contribution is still important. But now the investment itself can potentially move by thousands of dollars in either direction. That's when you start seeing something different. Your contributions and your investment growth begin competing with each other. And eventually, growth can become a bigger part of your wealth-building engine. This doesn't mean you should stop saving. It means your money has become a much larger participant. Think of it like pushing a car. When the car is stopped, you do all the work. But once it starts moving, momentum begins helping you. Your job isn't to stop pushing. Your job is to keep the car moving in the right direction. The dangerous side of $100,000. Now here's the part people don't talk about enough. Reaching $100,000 can make you feel rich before you're actually financially independent. This is dangerous because after years of saving, you finally see six figures. And your brain says, I did it. Maybe you start looking at a more expensive car, a bigger apartment, luxury vacations, designer clothes, a new phone every year. Or maybe you think, I've been responsible for years. I deserve to enjoy myself. And technically you do. But there's a difference between enjoying your money and permanently increasing your lifestyle. Let's say you spend years building $100,000. Then you buy a $50,000 car. Suddenly, half of your wealth is gone. And the car doesn't generate income. Instead, it needs fuel, insurance, maintenance, taxes, and possibly loan payments. The psychological problem is that humans are very good at adapting to higher lifestyles. You get a raise. At first, it feels amazing. Then you get used to it. You get another raise. You upgrade your lifestyle again. Eventually, your income goes up. But your financial freedom doesn't. This is called lifestyle inflation. And reaching $100,000 can be the moment when it becomes especially dangerous. Because now you finally have something worth protecting. Before you have savings, a $1,000 expense might feel huge. If you only have $3,000 in the bank, spending $1,000 means losing 1/3 of your cash. But if you have $100,000 invested and a strong emergency fund, the same $1,000 expense can look very different. Your financial foundation gives you breathing room. And that breathing room creates another major benefit. You become less desperate. Think about someone living paycheck to paycheck. They might stay in a terrible job because they can't afford to leave. They might accept a bad boss. They might avoid taking a career risk. They might feel pressured to say yes to every opportunity. But someone with a substantial financial cushion has options. They can say no. They can wait. They can change jobs. They can take time to learn a new skill. They can survive an unexpected expense without immediately going into debt. This is one of the most underrated benefits of wealth. Money doesn't just buy things. It can buy options. And options can change your life. Here's where the deeper lesson appears. The goal isn't actually to become obsessed with reaching $100,000. The real goal is to become the kind of person who can build $100,000 and keep it. Because anyone can get lucky once. Someone can receive an inheritance, get a huge bonus, sell a business, make a lucky investment. But sustainable wealth requires something different. Behavior. You need to know how to earn, how to save, how to invest, how to avoid unnecessary debt, how to control lifestyle inflation, and, perhaps most importantly, how to stay patient. Because once you built $100,000, your next challenge isn't simply making more. It's protecting the machine you've created. Let's imagine you reach $100,000 in your late 20s. You continue investing $1,000 a month. That's another $12,000 per year. Over time, you also potentially earn investment returns. Now something fascinating happens. Your original $100,000 isn't sitting alone. It is connected to every new dollar you invest. Your contributions grow. Those contributions can generate returns. Those returns can generate more returns. And over long periods, the process compounds. This is why time is so important. People often ask, how can I turn $10,000 into $1 million? But a better question might be, how can I build a system that allows my money to compound for decades? Because wealth is rarely created by one magical investment. It's usually created by repeatedly doing boring things for a very long time. Earn, save, invest, wait. Repeat. Now we come to the most interesting part. Your first $100,000 may feel like climbing a mountain. But after that, your next milestones can sometimes arrive faster. Not necessarily because you suddenly became smarter. Not because you discovered a secret investment. But because the amount of capital working for you is now much larger. Let's use simple hypothetical numbers. Suppose you have $100,000 invested and it grows by 7% in a year. That's approximately $7,000 of growth. If you also contribute $12,000 during that year, you've added roughly $19,000 before considering taxes, fees, and the ups and downs of actual markets. Now imagine doing that repeatedly. Your contributions continue. Your investment base grows. And the potential dollar amount of future growth grows with it. Of course, markets don't produce a smooth 7% every year. Some years can be positive. Some can be negative. Some can be spectacular. Some can be terrible. That's why these numbers are illustrations, not promises. But the underlying principle is powerful. A larger investment base gives compounding more material to work with. There's one mistake I want you to remember. Don't confuse a milestone with a finish line. $100,000 isn't financial freedom. It isn't retirement. It isn't permission to stop learning. And it certainly doesn't mean you can suddenly afford everything you want. It's a foundation. Think about building a house. The foundation isn't the house. But without a strong foundation, the house has problems. Your first $100,000 can be similar. It gives you a base. From there, your focus can shift from, how do I just survive financially? To, how do I make this foundation stronger? That could mean increasing your income, keeping your expenses under control, investing consistently, building an emergency fund, avoiding high-interest debt, diversifying appropriately, and protecting yourself from catastrophic financial mistakes. Because when you have $100,000, losing 50% isn't just losing a number, it's potentially losing years of effort. And recovering from a large loss requires a much larger percentage gain. Lose 50%, and you need a 100% gain just to get back to where you started. That's why protecting capital becomes increasingly important as your wealth grows. First, don't dramatically change your lifestyle just because your net worth crossed a psychological milestone. You can celebrate, but don't turn a milestone into a monthly expense. Second, look at what got you there. Maybe you increased your income. Maybe you live below your means. Maybe you invested consistently. Maybe you avoided debt. Whatever worked, keep it. Third, increase your financial margin. Have enough accessible savings for emergencies based on your personal situation. Fourth, keep investing according to a strategy that fits your goals, time horizon, and risk tolerance. And finally, don't obsess over the number every single day. Because wealth building is a long game. You don't need to win every week. You need to avoid losing the game. Here's the strange thing about $100,000. The number itself doesn't change your life. What changes your life is what the number represents. It represents discipline, patience, a financial buffer, invested capital, and a completely different relationship with money. Before $100,000, you may think, I need money to solve my problems. After building meaningful wealth, you may start thinking, how can I use money to create more choices? That's a much more powerful question. Because eventually, the purpose of wealth isn't just owning a bigger number. It's having more control over your time, more flexibility, more choices, and less financial stress. So if you're currently at $5,000, $10, $000, $20, $000, or even $50,000, don't underestimate what you're building. The first $100,000 may be slow. It may feel boring. It may feel like nothing is happening. But every dollar you invest is another tiny worker joining your financial army. And eventually, you reach a point where you stop doing all the work yourself. Your money starts helping. Then your returns can start helping. Then time starts helping. And that's when the game begins to change. So don't ask yourself only, how quickly can I reach $100,000? Ask a better question. What kind of financial life am I building that will still work after I reach it? Because the real victory isn't reaching $100,000. The real victory is building a system where your first $100,000 becomes the foundation for the next $100,000 and the next, and the next. That's when money stops being something you're constantly chasing and starts becoming something that's working alongside you.